Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Cooped Up Podcast. And I forgot how to do one of these intros because it's been a while. That's it. That's the intro. I'm your host, Mr. Chicken Movies.
Joined by the same two twats that were on last week.
The last one was called Off the Rails. We've got to have a more normal episode now.
Oh, come on, that's not going to happen.
Okay, yeah, true. We're not getting a normal episode. So, as you may have heard, we're joined by Dan once again. Or not.
Nah.
Okay. We're not joined by him. And we're also joined by a hyena, apparently. Ninjadogs 14, Jay.
Yes.
Hello
yes.
there.
I'm not a hyena, but thank you. But
So that might be the worst podcast introduction I've ever done. You may notice this was also... so to viewers out there, this is... You may have noticed we didn't have one last week. So I think I may make it a twice-a-week thing. We'll see how this one does, really. And on the subject of channel things, thank you very much for getting me to 60 subscribers. Just thank you.
Shut up.
Thank you. These people are subscribed. I've got to deliver them on something. So yeah, I thought we'd actually change up the formula a little bit and go straight into the film. Which is, Dan, this was your choice, which I sort of sprung on you out of nowhere.
Yeah,
which
you told me, 2 days before we were supposed to record, and then...
yeah,
so we never did.
Yeah, so... your movie was actually a really good one, 2001: A Space Odyssey, which is famed.
I had to one up you. Who was it? I complained that last one was 2 hours, so 2.5 hours.
Yeah. So you gave us you gave us a really good one though, because you gave us a Stanley Kubrick film. You gave us one that has surprisingly held the test of time, which is 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I think we're actually going to split this into two parts. So we'll start with talking about sort of a non-spoiler, objective sort of thoughts on the movie, and then I thought maybe go into what it actually means in like a spoiler bit, because to say the least, this movie has some very interesting messages and themes in it. So yeah, I thought that'd be interesting to discuss. So as per usual. What are our one-word summaries? So, one word that, summarises our thoughts on the film. Dan, you'll go.
Well, on first viewing, bloody confusing.
This is your first viewing, right? That was your first time watching it.
Still.
Yeah. This is my second, and I was like... Huh. I think I understood.
Your word is huh.
I think I understood it more than this time than I did the first time watching it, but the stuff that was left very open is still like kind of open. I'd say weird. Weird is I'm going to describe it. Actually, no, because weird implies that Kubrick. Actually, maybe Kubrick was on something. I don't know. And Jay, what's your one word?
Well thought out.
That's not a word.
Thought out. It doesn't matter. Word or phrase it should be.
Fine. Thought out.
Well thought out. It's thought out.
It's been thought out. Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, what do we actually think? Do we think it was good? Do we think it was bad? Do we think it was mixed? Do you think it was a cinematic masterpiece? What do we all think?
Yeah, it was bloody brilliant.
Yeah.
I mean, it certainly gives you something to think about.
Jay?
It's definitely very good. I wouldn't consider it a masterpiece, but I think it's definitely well good.
I think it is a masterpiece, and I think the reason that it isn't is because we're watching it today, like 50 years later.
Yeah.
So a lot of the themes about like space and AI have been done to death in movies and TV and video games and whatever,
And the fact that it's dumb as shit in real life.
But 50 years ago, about 52 years ago, this would have been like insane to see. Like no one would have ever thought about it. It would have blown people's minds.
It was before Star Wars. So.
Well, this movie was released before people even stepped on the moon. So, in terms of its sci-fi, I think it is actually way more influential than people give it credit for being.
Yeah, but weren't they working on the what wasn't like they weren't they on the arms race while this
Space
movie
race.
was being made?
Yeah, they were doing
Yeah.
the space race while it was being
Yeah,
made, which led to the
film was 65 and the moon was 69, right?
No, I think the
Yeah.
film was 68, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
Oh,
68.
68, okay.
68, yeah.
And then it was 69.
Well, because of that, there's the famous
So,
rumor
yeah, very
that
close.
the moon landing was faked and Stanley Kubrick actually was just filming it. Quick question: what do you guys think of the fake moon landing hoax?
I haven't paid too much attention, but I don't really like to bring down science like that.
Of course they didn't land on the moon. The moon doesn't exist. The Earth is flat.
Oh god.
Yeah,
here we
the
go.
Earth is flat and the moon is made of cheese. Duh.
Yes.
It's just a figment of your imagination.
Yeah, this movie was directed by Stanley Kubrick, who's one of the all-time greatest directors out there. He's made a lot of brilliant movies, and they're all very different. So yeah, I don't think you guys will have seen any of his other movies, but yeah, 2001: Space Odyssey is probably his main claim to fame. That and The Shining.
I haven't seen The Shining.
You
I
haven't
don't
seen-
really plan on seeing it.
But Dan, I made a video on it like 2 years ago.
Shut up.
Anyway, so yeah, that was directed by him, and I thought I'd say direction very good. He is a mastermind, and you can really tell through how, like, I guess, intricate the way he shot it was. There's a really, really, really good sense of scope that I feel this movie got, where it's able to capture so much wonder and just this impressive scope. And I think that's down to the way it was directed. And the other thing is the effects are incredible.
Oh yeah, they really do hold
they're
up.
revolutionary.
Yeah.
They are amazing. One thing in particular I thought I'd point out is the set design is
Yeah.
brilliant.
Oh, yeah,
And the most
yeah.
notable set that I was like, whoa, is they use a 360 set. Nowadays that's probably expected, but again, this was 68. Movies were not as advanced as they were. Another thing I thought was fantastic was the music.
Yeah, definitely. It's iconic.
The music wasn't originally composed for... Well, some of it wasn't originally composed for this
Yeah.
music, but whenever I hear the music, I think of this movie. It's just so eerie and... Yeah, it sets such a good tone for what the movie is.
There's only really three main songs OST that are used in the
Soundtracks,
film. Yeah, soundtracks, and they're brilliant. They're absolutely really well done. Like
Yeah. The way that music is used is phenomenal in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's
It
just in
builds
terms of
tension
sci-fi.
so well.
I feel like this belongs up there with, you know, movies like Star Wars and Avatar, for ones that have just revolutionized the game, because it
definitely.
it just did so much for effects to the point where it's still, like, you know, like I said, 52 years later, it looks phenomenal. Jay, do you have any other good things you want to say?
Yeah, I like it because you told me that it was really weird when before I watched it. I sort of went out of my way to like really go like 5 head and just think big with the sort of like themes that it did, and like watching it with that sort of mindset, sort of like there are lots of like outwards scenes, like even towards the beginning where it's
With the apes,
you can
yeah.
with the apes you can just really interpret.
There's a lot left up to interpretation, isn't there, in this movie? And I think that's...
Could you call that spoilers?
Well, no, because it's like the start of the movie.
Yeah.
That's like saying in a murder mystery, spoilers. the person that gets murdered in the first 5 minutes gets murdered. I don't think it's a spoiler. Spoilers would be stuff that happens later on. But yeah, I think I did say to you something along the lines of you have to be in.
Classing it.
Yeah, I think I said something like along the lines of you have to be in a certain mindset to want to watch this movie. Which is, you've got to be thinking very interestingly. Because I know when I first went to watch it, I was thinking, actually, I'm not really in the mood to watch this, so let's save it for another day. This time around I didn't really get much choice, but thankfully I was thinking, yeah, alright then. I know what this is roughly like. I can deal with it.
Right.
Dan, you're obviously the one that suggested it. Why did you suggest this movie?
I'm in a bit of a spacey mood, and I hadn't seen it before.
I mean, so what did you expect from it, and did it succeed on
I
those?
certainly did not expect what I saw, but yeah, I can agree that it is a good film. Brilliant film.
I mean, what things about it in particular did you think were brilliant?
The fact that there are so many questions that you have throughout the film, and they're not quite answered. They're left open to interpretation.
Yeah, I like the fact that that Kubrick and everyone around him were just like, let's let them figure it out. You know, it's trying to be this bold experiment with sci-fi, and I think it absolutely succeeds at that. Are there any other positives we really want to talk about this before we go into the themes? Well, I've got one more, which is HAL 9000. He is brilliant. I without giving too much spoil, although it is old, it's an old movie. Without spoilers, he is such a good character in that movie. For what they want to use him for, I think HAL 9000 was a phenomenal presence.
Yeah.
And yeah, in terms of, I'm trying not to spoil it. The purpose he serves, in my opinion, is he's one of the best of that purpose of all time.
Yeah.
And in terms of the themes of AI, like this, I think this might be the first ever time that AI was made this much of a presence and it was explored to this degree in film. And now we're seeing it become really prevalent, and you just go, whoa, someone predicted this 50 years ago, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I think it's the voice, mainly. It's just so, eerie.
Yeah.
The whole movie is so, filled with tension, yeah.
Yeah, the way HAL was done, stands up to today. The way, the sort of stereotype how it is, in modern era, he's how HAL was done is better than how stereotypical ones are done today.
Yeah, yeah.
What would you want to compare him to?
HAL 9000.
Jarvis?
No, cause I don't think so.
I mean, they do kind of
Ultron.
run the place.
What I would compare him to is GLaDOS, actually.
Oh,
GLaDOS, yeah.
Actually, those two would make a great.
It's not really a film.
Those two would make a great power couple, though. HAL and GLaDOS.
I don't think so, because I think their motivations are different.
What GLaDOS wants to? Anyway, we're not talking about Portal 2 today.
Why not?
We can talk about it in the spoiler.
Maybe talk about it later.
Yeah.
I mean, their intentions were different, though.
Yeah, I think we can agree they have different motivations. Still, it's pretty cool. All the human. I noticed this time a lot more. I found myself more invested in the human characters this time round. Because the first time it was just taking in all the themes and visuals, whereas this time I could really get into the characters. And yeah, it's a lot more investing when you get to know who these people are and sort of connect with them.
Yeah, Something I really appreciated was the fact that the astronauts weren't idiots. Like,
yeah, no, they were...
in killer movies, the protagonists are usually just idiots, but they're not in this movie.
Yeah, everyone in this movie is very capable, and acts really well. So since we've talked about all the positives, are there any negatives you guys can see in this movie?
I only really had one negative, and that was just with in one particular scene where it was like the ship and the drone that comes out of the ship, the proportions didn't really sit right with me in terms of it, but okay. I sort of it didn't really bother me too much.
I think age is one thing you could definitely criticize this movie for.
Yeah,
but the thing is, it still doesn't look bad at all.
No, it doesn't.
It was made in 1968 when film had never even attempted this before, and it looks better than so many movies that are released today.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's incredible.
Definitely.
But some parts of it definitely have, this older style of editing and pacing.
Even dialogue, like the dialogue is very 60s.
The dialogue does feel older. Yeah.
Yeah, but I kind of liked it actually.
It sort of gives Now we're separated from that. It almost feels like they're back in the future again, which is really weird.
Mm.
Yeah, I liked that. Dan, did you have any criticisms you wanted to give?
Not really. No,
I guess.
I mean, it's hard to be in the 60s and predict what it's going to be like now, so I can't really know.
The only thing is that it's not really a criticism. It's just a weird little thing they included there, which is it sort of has an introductory bit where it's just eerie music which is amazing on the blank screen for the first 2 minutes of the movie, and there's also an intermission in this. And I think I've only seen intermissions like once before in a movie, so yeah, that was interesting.
Yeah, it's structured like theatre.
But it was, because this is a point in time where people don't take films home. If you want to go see something, you go to the cinema to watch it. If you don't go and watch it, you never see it.
Yeah. And so I guess they just have an intermission to quickly go and get a drink or whatever. Take a break.
It.
Yeah. I mean, films weren't usually as long as that one, were they?
No, movies were most older films are less than 2 hours. And so it's just this one that was a massive exception to that. And to be honest, I think it does justify its length, absolutely.
Definitely.
So
the Bohemian Rhapsody of music. Film.
I thought you were referring to the film Bohemian Rhapsody for a second. I was thinking, is it revolutionary? No, I think you're referring to the song. But yeah,
long.
So yeah, my
masterpieces.
So yeah, our conclusions on 2001. I mean, it's an amazing cinematic achievement. I don't think anyone's denying that.
Definitely.
The way it was made is phenomenal, but you definitely have to be in the right mood for it. It's very open-ended, it's very eerie. So if you're into that sort of thing and you want to be questioning what's going on, then I'd say it's absolutely for you. However, if you're not really sure about that sort of concept, then this movie probably isn't for you. So yeah, it's a mood-based movie. So do you guys have any other? Do you guys have any other?
That sci-fi. Some people may not like sci-fi. So if you're not a big sci-fi person, then
it's.
I mean, it's in the name, so
yeah.
I'd say I'd say the closest thing I could compare it to that's come out nowadays is Interstellar.
Oh yeah,
I think that's the closest you could go with it, but
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I'm saying it's like Interstellar in terms of it's a space movie. In terms of plot, basically, it's a space movie with robots and spaceships and
weird
like time corridors at the end. But in terms of the like feel of it, it's very different to Interstellar. I think it's got very much a Kubrick stamp on it, where it's just very.
Oh, Interstellar! I have seen that.
Come on, Dan.
I was thinking of Passengers for some reason.
I saw that one.
I haven't seen both Passengers. Of them. I've only seen Interstellar. I was thinking maybe we could talk about Tenets, but I think I'm the only one who's seen the trailer from that. So yeah, should we?
I haven't heard of what you're talking about.
Anyway, should we go quickly into
spoilers?
So we're going to spoilers in a second. So just last thing, would you recommend it?
Yes.
I would recommend it to fans of movies. If you're a film fan, this is like a must-see, I think, because like I said, I think it is a masterpiece. So you
should have seen it by now if you're a film fan.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when I last watched it. I'll quickly take a look. I get the sense it was a while ago. But whilst I have some quick research, let's go into our spoilers then. So, there's an awful lot about the themes in this movie.
Yeah. I think we should probably talk about the movie as the movie goes on, sort of like start at the beginning and talk about how we think about it.
I don't think so, because things like the monolith, the monolith has a big effect at the start, then it disappears, then it shows up again, and then it has a major impact on the final bit of the movie. So I think maybe talk about that last, because that's the most open-ended thing. We can start off with AI, I think, because HAL 9000 is this big, intimidating. Well, he's not big or intimidating, but he's still like terrifying. So it's the themes of AI turning against the humans, which is so eerie, because there was no way he would have like known that is what would be a legitimate threat nowadays. So yeah, I really liked how that theme was explored. I quite like the themes about the themes of like corporate interests weren't really that heavy in it, but because the first time I watched it, I completely blanked over it, and then watching it again, I was like, oh, that's sprinkled in here a little bit. I kind of like that. That bit hasn't quite happened yet, I don't think. So yeah, in terms of themes, there's AI, there's the morals of space and corporations there, but then of course there's the main weird thing, which is the monolith that we see throughout the movie. And that is by far the thing that has sparked the most debate with everyone who's seen this movie. So I thought we could quickly go through it, which is we first see the monolith in the
right at the beginning with
we first see it in the beginning with the apes, and the apes are getting like killed by cheetahs or whatever, and then they see the monolith, and then they see like a set of bones. The ape learns how to make tools out of bones.
That's the turning point.
Yeah, and one part of the editing that I think is like genius actually is when apes have finally learnt to use bones as a weapon.
Tools.
He then throws it in the air, and it transitions into the space shuttle. Some people have said it's a nuclear weapon, which I don't know whether it's a nuclear weapon or not.
I think it's the development of an ape that uses a bone. It uses it as a tool, and that tool develops into spaceships.
That rocket.
That is also a tool.
Yeah.
I thought like when I first saw the ape pick up the the stick, I just thought that was like the birth of the technological arms race. Like, it wasn't an arms race of strength, it was an arms race of technology, and that's where it started. One thing that's a bit hazy for me was whether the monolith ape scene was before or after the apes picked up the stick.
The monolith appeared first, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's implied that the monolith is the one that gave them the ability to use tools.
Yes, yeah. I'm not sure on that one.
I mean,
was it there to witness it, or was it there to start it?
Ooh, I think we might have different ideas there, because my opinion is I think it started it, but I haven't actually thought of the observe it thing, because observe it is an equally good point. I think it shows up again. The monolith shows up again halfway through the movie on. Is it the moon or is it Mars or?
It's on the moon.
I think it
points to Mars, right?
I don't know. I don't know. The point is, it's in space. They go and see it. It gives them this weird high-pitched noise. They go and take it. Then it disappears a bit, and we get into the HAL 9000 stuff.
I wanna give my what I thought about the monolith in the first.
Oh, and the apes, yeah.
First. Yeah. Because one thing that's really good with the monolith is the monolith's leitmotif is it called? But basically
music,
its theme. Yeah, the music it's paired with and that when you hear it come on, the monolith has this presence to it.
Oh god, yeah, it sets my heart on edge every time I just hear that. I go, ooh.
Yeah,
I don't trust this.
It's absolutely brilliant.
Just full of mystery.
Yeah, I love that they have that. I thought multiple things. I tried to think of different ways to interpret the monolith, and first I thought, okay, is this like the wall of technology, or science's limit? Like at that point, the apes were as strong as they could be, probably, and then so the wall showed up, but then it they picked up the stick and the wall went away again. Yeah.
But then I also thought maybe it's like they're because the way that they were sort of scared of it and that then sort of were.
I think it was them seeing the monolith that gave them that courage. I think it was them seeing the monolith that gave them the courage to do that.
Yeah, it like something it sort of reminds me of like, even though I'm not religious, it's sort of like my interpretation of the story of Adam and Eve,
really?
Because like how I interpret or how I was told like the Adam and Eve is that the apple is like consciousness, like before we were in a garden which is basically just the wild, and then some humans or apes had this apple and they bit the apple consciousness, and once we became conscious and started making technology,
I had no idea
God was that.
Yeah, I didn't know what that theory about the Garden of Eden was.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just something my mum told me, but that was like, that's like one of the things that was interest. That's like, yeah, that's my take on it.
Okay.
And
so you're so would you say you're on the side of it observed or influenced?
I think it's different. I think it's just like symbolistic of like humanity's technology, I guess, humanity's ingenuity. and the struggles that, like, maybe the limits. Yeah.
Okay. Dan, would you say that the monolith is influence, or would you say it's observation?
I don't think it's an influence.
So you think it's just there to observe?
I'd like to think so, but then it disappears, which gets me.
Well, maybe it just goes, okay, I've observed the important bit, and now I'm gonna look at something else.
Yeah. I mean, it was there with the apes on the moon, and it's then it's in space, like out in the beyond, just as the ship is going out in beyond. So like, because when we went up to the moon in the movie, the monolith was there. So that's why what sort of gave me another thought that this is possibly the limit
it was
of
already
our
there, buried, wasn't
technology. Yeah. It was like buried for 4 million years,
waiting
but like
to be found.
yeah.
Ooh, okay.
That's why I think it's like technology's limit or humanity's like outreach.
Okay.
But that still doesn't explain why it just appears on Earth.
Yeah, so we've all got different perspectives on this one in that case, because I think it is influence. I think it's got this incredible amount of power. Sort of, I think it actually sort of metaphorically, it probably is some form of alien technology.
Yeah.
Where its technology is so much more advanced than ours that we can't possibly comprehend it. Which is why when he enters the monolith, or when he interacts with the monolith, he's just bursted with all these colours and he can't comprehend what he's seeing. So I think it's meant to be some form of alien force that's extra dimensional or whatever. But yeah, the end is by far the hardest thing to decrypt out of the whole movie.
The third act,
because the AI stuff you can sort of tell what they're saying. A lot of the space stuff you can tell what they're saying. The corporate stuff you can tell what they're saying. Even with the apes, you can sort of go, okay, that's roughly what this means.
Yeah.
What the hell is the last 20 or 30 minutes of the movie?
The first time we're in the space station, it's a ring, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool how they managed to pull that one off.
Yeah.
No, I like that set, yeah.
But also the phone call down to Earth. The fact that they predicted video call. Brilliant.
Oh, that's another thing. They predicted Skype or Zoom before it happened. Stanley Kubrick should have like copyrighted these and just seen how much money went from his estate.
Oh yeah.
Doing that. He would have been insanely rich.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I watched 2001: A Space Odyssey in May 2018. That's how long. So yeah, it was good to have a refresh of it there.
Yeah.
The weird thing is, I didn't really forget much of it, given the fact I'd watched it 2 years ago. Like, I've watched a ton of movies longer ago.
It doesn't really have much filler.
No, it's
like,
it's
like
a very
all of
experience. Yeah.
Even though it's not like conjoins and there are different like plot lines, I like that you sort of pay attention to all of them and they all.
It feels intentional. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think one problem that a lot of movies have is they go, oh bother, how else can we fill this time out? With the case of 2001, it all felt like they knew what they were going to fill the time out with, and that they didn't just pull straws out and go, well, I guess we could have a bit about this. They just went, no, we want to do this and this and this, which I think really services all the themes in the movie and has probably cemented its status.
Yeah.
But yeah, now let's specifically talk about the ending, because for one, the visual effects in that are amazing.
But before that,
the cinematography is really good there.
Yeah, I'd just like to talk about like just after the ape scene. There's like this just basically spectacle of technology to the classical music, and I just found it like so enjoyable to watch, just watching this sort of world that Stanley's built. Is that the what's the producer called?
Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley, yeah. Stanley's world they built, and just to the fact that he was just showing it off with classical music, just like it just made me really interested with like just something like the big hangar doors and stuff like that. That was yeah. I loved the classical piece you used, and I loved the set designs.
So yeah, this movie has definitely had an impact. But about the end, so what do you think the end meant? Because he goes through the monolith or whatever, he sees a load of colour, he eventually ends up in this place where he's seeing himself age and die, and then all of a sudden he's reborn as this fetus observing
space baby
the world. Yeah. And so my thought is, does that mean he's sort of become the monolith if he's a fetus now observing Earth, or does it mean something different? What the hell was that ending, really?
Yeah, I'm still stuck on that one.
Yeah, that's a really hard.
I got my own theory about that.
Okay, what do you think it is?
I actually am keeping up with the idea that the monolith is sort of like technology based, and like the first bit of the trip was just sort of, it looks like this very technological split in a way. So I thought it was like so it seemed very technological. Then it goes to like different landscapes that are just coloured. So I thought
don't do drugs, kids.
Yeah, I thought it was the technology that we the trip of technology to get us out into space. Then the different landscapes in all these different colours signify different planets that we explore, and the same thing with the eye. Like either it's us on those planets observing the planets, or it's like even different species with just different coloured eyes. Because like I don't know how they could have like made like special eyes. And the stuff about him showing up in this room while he's a child till his deathbed sort of signified to me that the monolith is always around us as humanity. So that's why I thought it was more this metaphysical technological limits in a way, and that then what? So it was it was just significant since it was like built around the moon landing. It was like I thought it was like the third act, since it was called Jupiter and Beyond. I thought it was just the start of humanity's like galactical endeavors, just exploration of like alien planets and stuff.
You see, I wouldn't have guessed that. Dan, what's your like opinion on the end of the movie?
I'm lost. Honestly, he was high when writing that bit. Surely,
no, I don't think he was. Stanley Kubrick refused to explain the end of 2001: A Space Odyssey. He's like, you guys figure it out.
Yeah.
Which is like many people to think, oh, he must have faked the moon landing. No, he didn't quite fake the moon landing, I'm afraid.
I mean, Jupiter is a gas giant, right?
Yeah, so's Josh.
No.
He's probably going to be in the next episode as well.
Cut this out.
No, this is going to stay in. I'm going to introduce him as the gas giant when he's in the next episode. You wait.
He'll be so confused.
He won't be confused, he'll just be mad.
So yeah, that was our
normal.
That was our thoughts on the ending of 2001: A Space Odyssey. Which is, Dan thinks that it's a thing that's observing.
Hang on a minute. The room he's in at the end.
Yeah.
Where do you think it comes from?
I don't think the room actually matters. I think it's sort of just like the background, really.
You right?
I think it's the monolith showing him something.
I think it's the monolith's construction from his memories.
You think it's constructing that? Because I think what the monolith
I
is
think
trying.
It's constructed from his memories.
Because I think what the monolith is trying to say is, I have the ability to sort of outlive you here, and I will always be here to see you age and die. And then at the end, he goes, "Just kidding. You can be like me now."
Does the monolith perceive time in the same way that we do?
That's impossible to tell. I think probably the answer is no.
For so long.
I think probably the answer is
the same one?
Well,
are there multiple?
I think it does perceive it differently because of the weird like rainbow maze that he flies through.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my opinion on it.
I mean, when he showed up in the room, I thought of it as this white palace, like sticking with the technology standpoint. It's sort of like
look at the style of the room.
You see, I just see it more as like a metaphor, really.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, okay.
I see it as the white palace we've built for ourselves using technology.
Okay. Whereas I just think it's not. I think it's sort of secondary to what we're seeing, which is this guy aging and dying whilst the monolith is always there. It's really eerily quiet there, actually.
Horrible.
Thank you. Yeah. As for the fetus baby, I think that's the reason. Fetus baby, the space fetus. I think that's him, right? I think that's him, and I think the monolith has done that to him to make him like the monolith, in my opinion. Which is why I think that the monolith is influencing things and not observing them.
Will he grow up?
I think so, yeah.
I thought of it differently.
Okay.
I thought that the fetus was just us on planet Earth, and the Earth is our egg.
Ooh,
do we see a planet behind?
Yeah, we see Earth.
Oh, it is Earth. Okay.
Well, it's presumably Earth.
Earth-like.
Yeah. I mean, it looks close enough to Earth.
Yeah.
So there you go. So we've got.
It would be kind of a stretch.
So we've all taken like very different perspectives from this movie, haven't we?
If the fetus grows up, then time passes for it in a similar way it does for us, which I think kind of breaks it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't. I mean,
if it were to
he
grow
lives. He dies, then he's rebirthed as this fetus. You don't see the
thing
fetus.
is, he sees himself die, and then he becomes this fetus, which makes you think it's the monolith showing him something. Well, I don't know. The way it's shown is really weird, where it's like he's looking at an older version of himself, and all of a sudden he is that older version of himself. And then that older version of himself is looking at an even older version of himself, and he becomes that even older version of himself.
Yeah. And when he's on his deathbed, he calls out to the monolith. I'm not quite sure what that that means
that's
me.
That's why I think that the monolith is influence and not observation. I think it serves a greater purpose. I think it is this all-powerful thing, which is why when he calls out to it,
certainly when you get to the end,
which is why when he calls out to it, it just goes, okay, here, you get to be reborn now.
Okay. Quick question: what do we call out to when we die?
I haven't died yet.
Well, yeah, I haven't died yet. So.
When we are dying, what would you, if you are dying?
Delete my search history?
No. You're calling out to the great monolith. Please, delete my browser history.
God, don't let them see the tentacle hentai, please. I don't want to die. I don't want to die known as this. Please, they're gonna put weeb on my gravestone. Bugger. I think most people will call out to God, whereas others will like refuse the fact that they've died.
Yeah.
Like I think it depends on the circumstances. Like if I got hit by a car or something, I think I would be calling out to an ambulance or something like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's it. So that's I think the end of our 2001: A Space Odyssey discussion. Yeah, it's a phenomenal movie. One that still sparks discussion to this day, which is great to hear.
Still a bloody mystery.
Yeah. And so whilst we've only got about 15 minutes left, I thought we don't really have any Q&A questions exactly, so I thought we'd just go into a few like mini topics. First up, Jay, I'm giving you a topic, which is in addition to watching the masterpiece that is 2001: A Space Odyssey, you also watched a different kind of masterpiece since last episode.
Yeah.
Would you like to discuss it? You watched The Room, indeed.
Yeah.
So that means all three of us have watched The Room in some
I
capacity.
haven't watched The Room.
You've watched like the first 5 minutes.
I've watched a little bit of it and did not continue.
But it's so fun.
Because I thought it was awful.
It's not fun. It's not.
I can't bring myself to watch that movie.
It's
too bad.
People have their tolerance. It is that amount of bad that it's just
for me. It's not bad enough to be funny.
Yeah,
you see,
it's
I
just
think it is
bad.
Well, like the first line of the movie is "Hi, babe." like, how do you not like find that hilarious?
Because I'm sorry, his acting's not. I don't know. Is it his acting?
It's
or is
so
it...
bad that it's good. His acting, like he's a corpse the whole way through.
No.
He just feels like he's asleep. Anyway, we're not going to talk about The Room that much 2 weeks in a row.
No.
Are there any like movies or shows that we've been? I mean, I'll say I watched Cat in the Hat, which is really, really bad. The movie with Mike Myers.
The Room.
Well, The Room is one of the best movies ever made, so no, yeah, of course it's worse than The Room. That was awful.
I forgot to mention, when you asked me my favourite films, the Back to the Future trilogy.
I was expecting you to say them, and you just didn't mention them.
I completely forgot about them.
You forgot they existed.
It's just like on the spot. Oh yeah,
they exist. Yeah. So yeah, have we
future films? They over predicted it. Oh,
yeah, 30 years later.
Cool, but nah.
Kubrick, you got it right.
It's pretty damn
Back to the Future, not quite close. Still, I think Back to the Future is a lot more enjoyable to watch than 2001. You get very different things from them, don't you? I don't know. Any other new bits of media that we've been consuming?
I watched Extraction.
Oh, you watched that movie, the one with Chris Hemsworth in it? Yeah, that was.
I'm still binging Star Trek.
Your never-ending quest. Where are you at currently? Did you go and watch?
I finished season 1 of DS9.
I swear you only started watching it 2 days ago.
Yeah, it hasn't been that long.
Yeah, okay then. What have I been watching? Not a lot. I don't know. I've taken a brief break from Doctor Who to catch up on other TV.
Oh yeah, I've finished rewatching Capaldi's.
Actually, I did watch Capaldi's first Christmas special. Last Christmas. Not for me. No, thank you.
Yeah.
It doesn't. It's the first Christmas special that just didn't feel like a Christmas special.
Star Wars Christmas special.
No, I'm talking about Doctor Who's holiday. I'm talking about like Doctor Who Christmas specials.
I know you're talking about Doctor Who, but I've heard that the Star Wars one is awful.
I mean, it's worse than The Room, so.
Yeah, but
I think, to be honest,
great.
if I was given a choice between Cat in the Hat and the holiday special, I'd still choose Cat in the Hat.
Oh really?
That's how bad the holiday special is. Like everyone thinks, oh, it'll be funny, and then every time we've gone and watched.
Yeah, but you think The Room's funny?
Yeah, I think The Room's funny. Sam thinks The Room's funny, and even when like watching it the first time, Sam was like, "Jeez, now I get why you hate it." And I think Joe's taken 3 attempts and still hasn't finished it.
Yeah.
To be fair, I had to.
Because it's terrible.
To be fair, I had to stop watching twice, and like, so it took me like 3 days to finish watching it because I was just like, I can't anymore.
Jesus.
Yeah, the Star Wars holiday special is the worst Star Wars thing. Objectively, there is nothing in Star Wars worse than the holiday special. So yeah. Have you got any other like topics we want to talk about? Or do you want to quickly have me walk into some around the world news?
I'll say one last thing. A Space Odyssey was brilliant for its music choice, but this one music there's this one guy that does like this
like
OST
covers?
or soundtracks for like anime and games and stuff, and I'd like to just shout him out as Kevin Penkin, because every time I listen to his shit, it just gives me fucking goosebumps.
So you really like his music? Okay.
Yeah,
Actually,
yeah, but it's just that good in terms of like soundtracks.
Okay. I guess whilst we're here, we could talk about some of the news that's gone down over the past 2 weeks. I don't really want to talk about the HUHC Keemstar thing, because both of them should know better than to be in the situations they're in, and they're both using really bad tactics to get at each other.
Yeah.
Like, we have HUH3, who's ethically is doing the wrong thing, and then Keemstar, who's playing exactly into H3's hands with every like response he does. So my opinion is no, I don't care.
No.
I'm not going to take a side on that one. One other bit of YouTube drama that has happened is legendary YouTuber, comedy shorts gamer Deji did an oopsie. Do either of you two know what I'm talking about here?
No.
I haven't had a clue about what you're talking about since you started.
Oh. Do you know who Deji is?
Nope.
Well, he's KSI's brother, and because of that, he's gained a considerable following off the back of his brother's success. And he has had a lot of drama on YouTube. In particular, the biggest one was him making a series of videos going after KSI for the sake of attention, from what it seems like. It's very hotly.
Isn't that what they're all about?
It's very hotly debate. Yeah, but I think that's crossing the line where you're divulging personal information about your own brother just so you can get some more subscribers.
Oh no, that's just dickish.
Yeah.
I think so that put him in cold water for most of the community. Because of that, his channel, which was at 9 million subscribers, has basically frozen at 9 million for over a year. Which is why we then get the news of a company called Freeway Social made a video exposing that Deji had gone and bought subscribers to get him to 10 million. Which is interesting, and there's a lot of he said, she said with this thing. So I'm going to let you guys make your guesses on it based on the information there is. So the first thing to look at is on Social Blade, he was at like 9.95 for ages.
What's Social Blade?
Social Blade is like a YouTube statistics tracker. So it tells you how many views a channel gets in a day. It tells you how many subscribers a channel gets in a day. And Deji's subscribers in the past 4 days managed to grow from 9.95 to 10 million when his views stayed exactly the same, which people took to be very peculiar. And Freeway Social shows bank transfers and the PayPal account of Deji's family.
How did they get a hold of that?
Well, because Freeway Social was basically they're saying, oh yeah, he paid for 50k subscribers so he could get to 10 million. Unfortunately, however, Deji got into a little bit of trouble because he made a video pretending he had coronavirus, which then lost him a series of subscribers. And because he lost a series of subscribers, he went, oh, it must be the sub-botting company taking them away. I'm going to get a refund on my PayPal. So they paid back the money despite the fact that they hadn't done anything wrong. So then he tried to get more botted subscribers, which he then did to get over 10 million. But because of the debacle about him trying to get a refund and blaming them for him losing subscribers, they then went, screw it, we're just going to release a video exposing your PayPal for you paying to get to 10 million subscribers. And now, ironically, he's gone below 10 million subscribers because people have gone, dude, that's, yeah. But I want to know, do you, on the subject of whether he actually sub-botted, because he's obviously said, no, I haven't sub-botted, and Freeway Social said, yes, he has. So a few pieces of evidence have come out that make us think that, well, that people have looked around on. Firstly, the email used to buy the subscribers, the 2 recovery emails, one is from the Comedy Shorts Gamer IP, the other is from a property company that Deji owns. So, number one, that is suspicious that those emails do match up. The second thing, which has caused a lot of debate, is the IP address, which is... Do you know that there's like a thing that there are multiple locations for each IP, Dan?
Yeah.
Because there are IPs. In his case, the IP it showed, and this is the thing he lent very heavily on, is that the IP that was being used in Freeway Social's video is for Harrogate, which is in the north of England, so nowhere near where he lives. But other people did the same search and found that it was both Harrogate and Peterborough, which is where Deji lives. So it seems the IP is legit. Which is very interesting, because that means basically there is sufficient evidence to get his channel terminated because of the subscribers thing. Do you think it will happen?
Does it rack enough income that YouTube will want to keep it around?
The thing is, I don't think YouTube will delete it. I don't know, it makes a decent amount of money. It's not doing well for a channel with 10 million subscribers, probably because half of them are bots. But I don't know, I don't think YouTube will delete it. I think he should get like a strike or something for botting. Because it seems pretty cut and dry that he... what do you two think it's cut and dry in terms of did he bot or not?
I'm gonna stay indifferent, but I think this entire controversy is quite hilarious.
It is hilarious. He's so determined to get to 10 million subscribers that he fakes getting coronavirus
and then
buys subscribers, but then mucks up his getting more subscribers and actually ends up just losing them again.
I mean, the whole freaking coronavirus thing, that says a lot about his personality, which would, that's kind of back up the whole botting thing.
Yeah, so it does appear that he's very I mean, this is the guy that sold out his own brother for views, so
it's not really stacking in his favour, is it?
Yeah. And And the last thing is, because of this H3H3 versus Keemstar thing, Deji, of course, made a video making fun of Keemstar, saying, "Oh, I don't like Keemstar very much, he's a mean person." Because Keemstar was the biggest person to break the story of... Okay, he didn't break the story, but he was one of the main people that said Deji was guilty of sub-botting. So yeah, I think it's cut and dry in terms of that Deji botted. Do I think his channel should be deleted? No. Do I think he needs to be punished? Yes. I mean, his reputation's already down the gutter, so I think this is probably just like a last stab in the chest, really, for his channel. I can't see it growing beyond this now. So yeah. And lastly, I've got a few Q&A questions. Wait, no. Oh, wait, no, I asked you guys this one last week. Bugger, I haven't updated the list, sorry. I did actually come up with one just from Jay mentioning it, though, which is, what are your favourite film soundtracks and scores? So, like, favourite music that's in movies. Who wants to start?
Star Wars has to have some of the best music.
Yeah, anything that John Williams has worked on, really. Yeah. So yeah, Star Wars absolutely is a series. What else? Indiana Jones, that was John Williams. Harry Potter, the whole series has got some great music.
Interstellar, John Williams?
That was Hans Zimmer.
Hans Zimmer.
Oh, Hans Zimmer,
yeah,
actually,
Hans
yeah.
Zimmer.
Because he did the music for the Dark Knight trilogy,
Yeah.
which is amazing.
Interstellar, obviously, which is
he did the music for Inception. Like, jeez, that's...
Oh, yeah. That's iconic.
Yeah. He did the music for Rush, which I watched recently, and went, oh, hey, it's Hans Zimmer again.
Yeah.
Blade Runner, one of my favourite soundtracks. Who are some other big composers out there? I guess there's just, in terms of like just regular soundtracks, which is like normal music being used in your film. So something like Guardians of the Galaxy, I think, deserves a mention.
Oh yeah,
because I think
music
all the
choice.
Yeah, I think all of the music choices they put in there are really good.
If you're gonna mention that, you're gonna mention Baby Driver.
Oh yeah, Baby Driver had a great soundtrack. Yeah.
Was it music choice or
no? That's soundtrack where it's just they've put modern day music in it.
Right.
Oh, and lastly, Howard Shore, the guy that composed Lord of the Rings, he composed Seven. Yeah, really good composer. I'm trying to think if there's anyone else I'm missing out on. Oh, I guess the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. That's a really good soundtrack.
Oh, we gotta talk about Joker.
Joker had a pretty good score. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, Joker had a brilliant.
Have you seen Joker, Dan?
I have seen it. It's not my film. I didn't really get it.
You didn't get it?
No,
what's
really.
not to get about a movie? What's not to get about Joker?
Didn't get it.
Just didn't get it. It's like, okay.
It's
yeah.
an easy to
You can't
understand
stop
movie.
laughing.
Eh.
It's
just a movie for
It's
me.
Taxi Driver for normies. How do you not get it?
Taxi Driver?
Or like King of Comedy for normies. I don't know. Robert De Niro movie. Anyway.
Yeah, not my film. Not my kind of film.
Fair enough.
I'm just looking around trying to find other like music scores I really like.
Not really a music score, but
What about like TV and games? Like best soundtracks on them.
Oh, games.
because TV, not really our kind of thing, but
Well,
games.
with TV, I think we can all like shout out certain things.
I've got to go look through my Steam library.
With TV, I'm gonna quickly shout out the guy that did the music for Game of Thrones, Ramin, whatever his surname is.
Oh yeah.
He also did Westworld, and I think the music in that's
Ooh.
fantastic. So yeah, he deserves a shout out. I'm also going to shout out Murray Gold because he did 10 years worth of Doctor Who music, and it's really good. Just think what other like bits of music I really remember from TV.
Terror Attack. I'm sorry. it not a big game. Not many people know it. Bloody amazing music though.
It's very like high energy music.
Yeah.
It's not like techie. It's very. How would you describe like the genre if you were to? It's like. It's just very. It sounds like just a single band.
Oh, and quickly, Mr. Robot. That's the other show that's got an amazing soundtrack.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, in terms of specific favorites, in terms of like, sorry, you were.
No, I just realized the movie soundtrack I missed out. The Social Network.
I haven't seen that one.
It was done by. The music was done by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, who were rock musicians, but they've done some amazing like scores for Social Network and Gone Girl and Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. They did the music for Watchmen, the HBO show as well. So yeah, they're good composers. I think they did it for Bird Box. Okay.
Yeah, in terms of specific favorites with musical like soundtracks, like Interstellar is probably one of my favorites, but then again I'm gonna have to call out the sequel movie to Made in Abyss, which is done by Kevin Penkin, as I mentioned him before, because I don't like Kevin Penkin's soundtracks. They're so good because he's worked on like multiple anime now. Every time I hear his music in scenes, like it just sounds like him. It sounds like Toby Fox. Like we didn't mention Toby Fox, but Toby Fox made the music by himself for Undertale, and the music's actually brilliant in it. But when I hear Kevin Penkin's music in scenes in like anime and shit, I get pissed off for how good it is, because you get angry
because it's good.
Yeah, I get pissed off that it's that good. No, it's not that it doesn't deserve it. It's that it's accented so well, and it accents the scene so well, and at the same time, it just has that sense of fucking let's go.
Anyway, lastly, best game soundtracks. I've got a few that I can shout out. So the Batman Arkham games, really good music. Halo, just the whole franchise, really good music. Skyrim, that's got pretty good music. And lastly, one that you two will... I don't know if you two will agree with it, but Destiny 2.
Oh,
Which is the Destiny games. I think they've got really good music.
I usually turn music off for a lot of games, and a lot of the games I play don't really have music in them anyway, or soundtracks, because it's not the genre I play, but... So I don't really know.
I gotta say Toby Fox's Undertale soundtrack.
I'm one of the few people that didn't get into Undertale.
Yeah.
Although, despite that, I
did.
still know the main Undertale themes. So
don't spoil it.
What's music?
Might play it one day.
Are there any other movie, TV, or game soundtracks you want to quickly shout out? I'll take that as a no.
No.
I'll quickly give you guys a second to...
Not a soundtrack, but a massively underrated... I don't know, massively underrated, but, 9. Nobody knows that film exists.
9?
It's just called 9. The number 9.
Oh.
But, wait, as in, I just put the character 9, or do I have to type N-I-N-E?
No, you don't spell it out. It's just 9, the number.
Oh.
Directed by Shane Acker. It's only an hour 20 as well. Damn.
Mm.
Okay, that's... Who did the
film.
music for that?
Oh, I just remembered the fucking 1980s Transformers movie. The music in that is so 80s and it's also so brilliant. This is a very musical podcast.
Yeah, we're getting into our musics here. We can fulfill the role of music critic now. Congratulations, everybody. Pats on the back.
No.
This channel is becoming a music channel.
Go back.
Press the button, Craig.
So it's becoming a music channel, and you got Joe on. Brilliant.
rather than giving people
does not know music for shit.
You should do like an album review or something. Music is really hard to criticize, though. I don't think I'd be able to do that. Because music is like entirely feeling based, and you can't objectively criticize music.
Unless it's actually shit.
Yeah, unless it's actually shit. Good music you can't criticize. Bad music you can definitely criticize.
Would you like to give examples?
Oh, just like modern rap. Like, it's so generic. Not that I listen to a lot of it or any of it. It's just so generic that
I
boring.
disagree, because I think rap is a mixed bag. Because I think it's about the talent that really goes into it, rather than
there is a lot of like early 2000s rap that was pretty good, but that was back when rappers were trying to like rap as fast as they can. And
that sort of music I'm fine with. The stuff I don't like is
overly negative.
No, the type of stuff I don't like is where either the flow is awful, where basically they're just mumbling along some.
Yeah.
Where there's just no talent going into it, and also I don't like songs that heavily rely on autotune.
Oh yeah.
Oh, it's cheating.
Yeah, I just don't like because it doesn't sound nice autotune to me.
If it's done well, it's difficult to notice.
Well, because
whole snapping to a note thing.
Well, one case I thought of is I was watching the Graham Norton show on like New Year's Eve or something, and they had Harry Styles like perform a song on there, and I was like, oh, okay, he's actually quite talented. And then I heard the song on the radio like a few days ago, and just for some reason they'd auto-tuned like part of his singing, and I was thinking, why? It sounded perfectly good with just him singing it. You didn't need to auto-tune it.
Right.
So yeah, I thought that was strange.
Oh, don't forget, when it goes through post and before going on the radio, it's going to be edited a lot more and harder to tell than, live auto-tune.
I just think the way they edited it was just... Yeah, it's just strange the way they auto-tune stuff.
I think auto-tune should be like for like specific verses and parts of a song, not the entire song.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
That because the majority of the song should be the singer's skill.
Yeah.
Bruno Mars, he used it. I can't remember what song it was in, but it was very intentionally there. And I think it's alright when you use it and you're really using it to make it intentional, but when you're using it just to fix up.
Yeah, if you're using it to elevate the song, then fine. So be it, So yeah, there you go. I'd say that's probably it with the podcast. Yeah. So, a few shout-outs. For one, shout-out to all of you lovely people watching. Thank you for the support you've given me over the past few weeks. You can check me out on Letterboxd, links in the description below. Check me out on Twitter, links also in the description below. Dan, where can people find you?
You still can't find me anywhere.
Oh, yeah, sorry, he's actually on the run from the FBI. Jay, where can people find you?
twitch.tv/Ninjadogs.
You didn't actually plug yourself at the start of this one, which is interesting.
No.
So yeah, then you can find him on Twitch.
I don't go out of my way to plug myself, but when
Also,
it's
stop
my
copying
time,
cyanide.
I do it right. All right.
We'll see about that. So yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Hopefully my voice will be a little bit less destroyed by the end.
Goodbye all.
Goodbye.